Good afternoon, ladies and gents. Happy Friday. I hope you've had a good week. This is the introduction for episode 12, Jason Maher open to work. So, episode 12 is all around a non league manager that's currently not working, and how he's looking to get back in sort of the non league pyramid. So, Jason is someone that I've grown to know over the last 4 or 5 years. A very, very good friend of mine, Mark Waters, was part of his coaching staff at Saffron Walden, and I used to go and watch quite a few of their games. Um, so yeah, we cover a lot of topics. We touch on what he's doing now. So he's probably at both ends of the spectrum right now. He's doing some scouting at the academy level for Norwich City. He's got a part time job with them. He's doing, I would say, quite a bit of scouting for various teams in the non-league pyramid. Whether that be Ryman Prem or Conference South. And we talk about just how time away from the game, how you use that time, and obviously you do a lot of self-reflection, uh, but also like how you add to your skill set, how you build new contacts, how you add to your black book around players, etc. So I think Jason's very much someone that is so very loyal and passionate about being a manager. As I say, he's someone that I've watched a lot of his games. Um, but there's also been times, and Jason and I talk about this, when he probably got too engrossed in the game, and found himself maybe in situations that he didn't manage correctly, and that's probably because he was just so engrossed in the game. He wanted to do well. He always had a loyal band of players that followed him from club to club and were loyal to him. And ultimately, he runs a successful business, and just like he does in his work time, he wants to be as successful as he can on a football pitch. So I think he's taken that time off. I think there's been some self reflection there about how he manages those moments going forward. He's very open and honest about that. But he's very, very keen to get back in because football has been very much a part of his life from young. We talk about him growing up in Chelmsford, and going home and away, and loving Chelmsford City. Um, how he's in the army, and an injury playing wise sort of pushed him into the coaching and the managing environment from a younger age. So really great chat, really enjoyed it. Touched on a lot of things probably that I haven't covered in a number of podcasts up to now. Um, as you know, it is a very raw and unfiltered podcast. I'm not doing it in posh recording studios. I'm normally doing it in my car or on walks or Zoom calls, depending on where they are. So you do have to forgive some of the, should we say, Leon C influencers walking up and down the seafront, taking pictures of their cups of coffee, and dog walkers, and groups of old women that are gas bagging. But I think that's the beauty of it, that we're talking to people in the game at all levels, on a level where they are honest with you. You are getting down to the nitty gritty of the detail, and we definitely did that with Jace. Um, so yeah, I hope you enjoy the podcast. I hope you enjoy this episode. It will be a two-parter, an amazing, over 2 hour chat with Jace about everything that I've just touched on now and more. So I'll split it up into two parts. One will go out tonight. One will go out early part next week. And yeah, just a very, very honest and open chat about management, and his journey in the game, and what he's done in the past, and what he's done well in the past, and what he wants to do in the future, and how he might do things a little bit differently. Um, but yeah, so Jason Mayer open to work. Really, really appreciate his time. And then lastly, a little pitch from me. It does take an awful lot of time, this podcast. Thinking about who to get on, what would be interesting. Thinking about questions and angles to speak on, and then the little bit of editing, and admin work that you have to do to get on the platforms, and so on and so forth. So from now on, I've spoken to a few people in the past about getting a sponsor for this website, so this podcast, sorry, and that is something that I'm going to look to do in the future. So a little pitch from me, if you've got a business or you know someone that wants a bit more exposure for their brand, I'm very much open to a discussion about getting a small sponsor to help me run this podcast. So episode 12, Jason Maher, open to work. As I say, really honest and unfiltered conversation. Really appreciate Jason's time. And as per normal, I really hope you enjoy the podcast. And if in doubt, turn it around the corner. Have a great weekend all.